Hi. In January, I took part in a musical theatre review show with a few other stupidly talented people. We had solos, duets, some nice big group numbers, and you know what? Turns out I miss musical theatre and learning new songs to perform. I caught the bug and thought there has to be a way to get back into singing in musicals. What can I do? So, without further ado, let me announce
Tenor Project.
So I found this series of songbooks published by Hal Leonard called the Singers Musical Theatre Anthology. There's currently 7 volumes for each voice type, with songs ranging from 1879 operetta to 2019 contemporary pop Broadway shows across a lot of different theatre styles, composers, genres, Broadway, off-Broadway, West End, even some movie musicals too. What's good about them is the songs are arranged as solos, so it just takes one person and some piano accompaniment to perform. They all have a version with accompaniment CDs, so you've basically got all your backing tracks there too. So how this will work is there are 7 volumes in the musical theatre anthology series for tenors. Because I have a tenor voice, I'm doing this series. There's about 30 to 40 songs in each volume, totaling to 260 songs. And I'm going to have a go at all of them. Throughout 2025, there is roughly 260 weekdays, so the plan is one song every weekday, with the exception of Christmas time. I've spent the majority of this year, 2024, learning the songs and recording them, so I can upload them as videos on time for 2025. There are a handful of songs that were recorded live from that January review show I mentioned earlier, and an acoustic show that we did in August. But the majority were recorded on my phone's voice recorder in either my parents' house or my flat where I am now, with varying sound quality. I'm not doing them in the book's order or chronological order, simply because there are multiple songs from one show, and it would be boring to get through very similar songs in a very short period of time. I could have done them in order of difficulty, but if I'm learning them all, they're all going to be at the same learning level at some point. One song that I didn't know at the start of the project, I will know back to front by the end, so it kind of defeats the point. So I decided to do them in alphabetical order. It gives the running order some variety, and it won't be as predictable as, say, 4 songs from the same show in a period of time where a certain style or genre was popular. Because the alphabet is pretty much set in stone, there may be songs that you can anticipate coming before others. But which ones? Musical theatre is my thing, so luckily I knew a lot of these songs. I think there was about a third of the songs that I had just never heard of before starting this project, which means now I've got even more shows to discover. Some songs I know like the back of my hand, they're in my blood. There are some songs where they needed a little work, where I knew the show well, but not specifically the song sung by the tenor character. And then there's some that I've just had to learn from scratch. And they weren't easy. So before each song, I'll do an introductory video where I'll say a little bit about it, my relationship with the song/show, my opinion on it, etc., and so forth. Like I said earlier, musical theatre is my thing, so there are some songs that I'm surprised aren't in this collection when you expect a tenor repertoire. So I'll tell you what you're not getting. Out There from Hunchback of Notre Dame is a big one. That's in my repertoire. 16 going on 17 from The Sound of Music is a classic one I can think of. A lot of Rodgers and Hammerstein coming up, just not this one. Freeze Your Brain from Heathers is a modern one from an extremely popular show that I thought would be in the latest volume, but no. If there's any you think should be there, if it comes to December and you still haven't seen a certain song come up, then let me know. So I said before that these songs come from a wide range of different composers and styles and periods of time. There are also many different characters and loads of different male actors who have played these characters. And there are a handful of these songs that were originally sung and should be sung and performed by a person of colour. So just as a disclaimer, before those songs, that I know that they are for people of colour and I know that I shouldn't be singing them. I could have taken them out of the collection, but I thought, you know what, we'll just go through it. We'll treat them as miscasts. I've tried not to do accents either, except for some of the earlier songs where I realised how kind of insensitive that might be, or if it's for comedic effect. So, for example, Pirelli's song in Sweeney Todd, I think we can get away with a silly Italian accent. I'm not going to pretend I can sing well. I am a transgender guy, so whilst I've been training my voice to get lower, there are still some notes that just cannot reach for the life of me. And then there are the high notes that I can't reach anymore. I'm still getting to know my singing voice. It's still relatively new. And after not singing regularly for 5 years, the tools are a little bit rusty. But, you know, I'm going to try and sing these songs anyway. And the main reason I said at the beginning of the video for doing all of these songs is to kind of get back into singing and everything. It's also so I have a project for me. This year, 2024, has been a pretty tricky, difficult year for me. I've had my heart completely broken. I've lost one of my closest family members. I've just moved into this new flat and adulting is hard. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this for me. Singing is what I enjoy, and I hope I can get back into it and sing even more and share it with people. Too long didn't watch. I miss singing. I found some songs. I'm going to sing all of them. If you're interested in that, see you in January.
Tenor Project.